Right. I mean, that was going to be my next question. I mean, I think there's this for years, been this kind of narrative of invisibility that surrounded Asian Americans, and now uh, many communities of various sorts are finding themselves visible in ways they probably don't want to be, and targets of a kind of ascendant nativism in this country. Do you personally feel concerned or fearful for Indian Americans, for the community that you grew up in? Do you feel a sense of threat that wasn't there before?
Yeah, I mean, I alternate, I think, like so many people. Half the time I feel like a totally insulated, privileged coastal elite and don't kind of shoulder that sort of constant physical terror. I'm insulated by a lot of things, class, caste, a lot of stuff that mean that I am not as on the front line as someone who is working in a spa or in a liquor store or in a gas station. Um, but then, of course, I mean, mass shootings are totally they're often random. I live in Georgia. It's very easy to get a gun. I don't think I'm different from a lot of other people, and being kind of aware and just knowing that parts of your brain switch on when you're moving through certain spaces in America that I know like my white friends do not that part of their brain just doesn't switch on. They don't have the extra awareness. I think as far as art goes though, it's not that helpful to make art from that position of terror. And so it is especially important to me when I'm working to try and create a little bit of space to absorb and be informed by the fear and terror and anxiety, but also to have enough distance that my art is not like subservient to terror or hate or whatever you want to call it. I think in the Trump era, there was a risk of making, when we're still in the Trump era, there's a risk of making art that only responds to the moment and that is trapped by the moment. And I actually think one of the most radical things about art is that it can speak to, but also speak against a given moment. And it can be the place that is free of tyranny, where like comedy is still possible, where humanity is still possible, that it's not the news cycle.